Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm going to apologise, my voice isn't as it usually is. I've unfortunately caught a cold and chest infection. So it's not COVID. I have done a number of antigen tests and they've all proven negative. But the GP has sent antibiotics to the pharmacy and asked me to remain at home just in case, which I had all intentions of doing anyway, because this is something I wouldn't want to pass on to my worst enemy. I don't like feeling yucky. So I thought, right, I'm going to come here and spend some quality time in my little haven here, going through some of my decks. Now, do you ever get a deck where you purchase it? Do you purchase it because you originally wanted it, or because it was the name that was going around at the time and everybody wanted it, or you've heard good reviews and you thought, I need to have that deck? Well, I have done that a lot, and 99.9% of the time I have been lucky. But then you get that one deck. Well, for me it was two actually, and I'll come to the second one afterwards. You get that one deck and you think, oh no, you've seen the images, you've researched, you've looked at what there is, and you think, oh no, I'm so disappointed. For me, that was the Anna K. And then I thought, is it going to stay in my possession or isn't it? Now, I know a lot of people go, oh, no, Elaine, the Anna K, you can't really mean that. But, you know, that's how I felt. Why did I feel like that? When I first opened the deck, the very first thing I felt was how flimsy the cardstock was. The minute I felt that, I thought, oh no, it's just so flimsy. It's not what I expected. And I put it down. And you know, a fool judges a book by its cover, and I was that fool. Recently I've been seeing more images of the Anna K Tarot, and I thought, right, I'm going to come back and revisit mine. And now I'm feeling it. The cardstock isn't too bad at all. The cardstock, yes, it's pliable, but that makes it easily shuffleable. And look, it springs back into its shape. There you go. Look, very little of a bend stays there. You know, sometimes we can be a little hasty on our purchases. Other times we can research them and think, wow, I love this deck, I've got to have it. And when we get it, something about it doesn't sit right with us. Anyway, I decided to revisit my Anna K Tarot. And I am so glad I did. What caused me to revisit the Anna K? I'll tell you. This caused me to revisit the Anna K, the Eight of Swords. The Eight of Swords here reminds me of the Eight of Swords in the Light Seers Tarot, where we see the person looking at their reflection in the mirror, and that is what they see, and this is what the outer world sees. And sometimes we appear to be so strong and so determined and so go-getting to the outside world, but this is how we feel on the inside, that we just don't know which way to turn, that we can't let others see our weaknesses, that we have to keep that stiff upper lip and carry on. And, you know, yet inside we could be in turmoil, not knowing which way to turn. But here they're saying that's how you may feel, but this is how you appear. Address how we feel inside. Why do we feel like that? Look here, she's bound, but the sword is bound within the bindings, and she can cut those bindings, that whatever's bothering her is not going to bother her for long, till she realises she can free herself just by addressing individual problems in an honest manner. That this is why I'm feeling like this, because of X, Y and Z, and this is how excuse me, this is how I'm going to continue on, and then I will feel just as the world sees me, strong and determined. And that, it was this image that made me think. I looked at the image online, I thought, oh, what deck is that? And the Anna K, and I thought, let's go and explore the Anna Kay. And that's what I did. And there's a couple of cards here that I want to share with you that also made me like this deck even more. It's one that I honestly did feel that I was going to rehome, but it's definitely not being rehomed now. The Three of Swords. Look at the pain and heartache on both of their faces. What has gone wrong? Why has their love suddenly come to an end? What did he do? What did she do? Who was the instigator of this hurt? Or was it just circumstances? You know, you can actually, the emotion on the faces of the characters really, really did pull me in. And I thought, you can feel the pain in that card. The High Priestess reminded me a little of myself in this photograph, not by looks, but because she's staring up at the moon. I have a huge habit of staring up and watching the different moon phases, photographing the moon. I pop them on my Facebook page. Sometimes I print them off and pop them in a journal. But it's just something that gives me peace. And seeing the different phases of the moon, looking at how things change and from one new moon to another, and what happens within that time, and sort of logging things, comparing activities between one full moon to another. If you've got time on your hands and you're like me, then you can do that. The Five of Rods reminded me of when we were younger in the pubs, and this is what would be happening in our local pubs. There would be arm wrestles, there would be challenges, and it was all good-natured, and you don't see that these days. That would not be the done thing. Oh gosh, no. That would be a definite no-no socially. Whereas growing up, well, that's what we did. What do they call us? Generation X. Oh, the generation where we fear nothing. Then we have the Hermit, and this Hermit is just so beautiful. He's just sitting there observing, not just observing is the wrong word, he's relaxing, looking at the views in front of him, in a place of peace and tranquility, reflection, inner reflection, maybe studying what's going on around him, but it just has a great feeling of peace. And the other thing about these cards is I enjoy the images, the drawings, and the subtlety in the changes of blue in that sky. The way the rocks are lit up by the candle and the shadow work. I just find them beautiful. Now, the Queen of Cups is a card that I thought, oh yes, this Queen of Cups is sitting there. She has her cup, and she's sitting looking into the water that her hand's resting in. Her feet are in, and her other hand is swirling the water. She's got her head like that on the cup. Everything you can say. And sometimes even a Queen of Cups can just feel, let me just have 5 minutes and reflect of what's, reflect on life, reflect on who she is, what she wants, how she's going to move on, or, being the Queen of Cups, being the matriarchal figure, worried about her children, worried about her family and friends. Has one or more of them got themselves into bother? How is she going to help them solve their problem? Because that's what our Queen of Cups does. She's sort of, in charge of her emotions and everything else, and yet she's there as an emotional support for her offspring and for those around her. But this Queen of Cups looks a little bit tired and is just taking some meditative time out. The Empress, rather buxom, excuse me, again, reminded of myself in my younger days and before cancer decided to get rid of my buxomness. And the fact that she's her feet on a chessboard, again, the Empress, is a sort of nurtures new growth, nurtures and encourages growth in those around her, in things around her. She nurtures, pushing forward, developing and growing into what you can be at your fullest potential. And this reminded me of my youngest son. We enjoy games of chess together, and I miss those games. He's moved away from home now, and I miss those times where we sit and just have a game of chess, because he's getting on with his life, and that's because we've encouraged him to blossom and grow, as we have with all our children. But when they do fly the nest, it can be quite a lonely feeling, albeit our Empress is nurturing here. She's nurturing animals and plant life, pretty much what I'm doing now that 2 of my 3 children have flown the nest, and the third one that we've got stay at home still is out working all the time. And you can see, this, it's not that she's outstayed her welcome or she's served a purpose. She's there, always there, to give nurturing advice, love and kindness, and helping the growth of plant life, animal life, and that's basically my life as it is at the moment. Now, the 5 of Cups, many a time we can all identify with this, but this card is it's special. It's beautiful, because we can see, this person. We've got the 2 broken cups here. He's got 3 repaired cups here. But look what's going on here. He has got the 2 broken cups, but what he's not seeing is the 3 cups behind him have the potential to grow and blossom and produce more. If only he'd turn around and see that it's no point sort of using the old saying, crying over spilt milk, because that's gone. It's happened. Now get up, turn around and see what you've got there supporting you. See what you've got there to still work with. All is not lost. Things can be saved and be even better than they were before. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, if he's prepared to put the work in. The Lovers. And what I like about this one is that this is an older couple, maybe a Generation X couple, who've managed to get through all the trials and tribulations that have been thrown in their path along life. Ups and downs, as all couples have. Sometimes things need a lot of work to restore it back to a relationship that you can continue with, but fighting all the obstacles and making life yours and being there till the end of your days, that's what that reminds me of, and I think it's beautiful. And I love the fact that a lot of these cards have a lot of flora and fauna in them. I like the fact the King of Swords is a chess player, always looking to see his next move to vanquish his foe. Playing fairly, not cheating, strategizing and solving problems. Harsh with his words sometimes, but then sometimes some of us need that harshness in order to give us that kick up the posterior that we need. So you can see just from those few cards, I won't go through the entire deck, that from those few cards just how the Anna Kay has fitted into my life. Am I glad I bought it now? Yes, I am. Was I when I first opened it? No, I wasn't. And I was in fact I was talking to Simon from the Hermit's Cave a long time ago when I first purchased this, and he said, he could see the disappointment on my face with the quality of the cards, and I thought, oh gosh, now I'm looking, I thought, why did I have an issue with it? Because the quality isn't that bad at all. I don't know what I was expecting. I don't know what I was expecting at all, but you can see they're lovely to shuffle, whether you're a riffle shuffler or a hand-over-hand shuffler. They're easy to handle, albeit they're larger than your standard RWS. Let me just get a standard RWS out, and I will show you here. That's a bit large. So here's a standard. Hold on a second. Here's a standard card size. So it's shorter in height but wider. So there you go. It's shorter but wider. So it's a little chunky deck. So yes, that's, I'm glad to say the Anarchy is back in the fold. I think I've had this, excuse me, I think I've had this over 2 years now, and it's taken me that long to finally think, is it staying or going? And it's definitely staying. Another deck that I had initial problems with, and you will have heard me mention this many a time on my channel, was the Deviant Moon. I was drawn to purchasing that at a Mind, Body and Spirit exhibition in Dublin. There were tarot cards to beat the band all over the place. This display was massive tables with tarot decks all over the place. And I was just drawn to this one small packet right in the centre. And there's about three packs of this deck. And I thought, So I leaned in, I thought, why am I being drawn to this? And I picked it up and I thought, oh, I think I'm going to get on well with this. And it was just sort of giving me that itch in my hands. And I thought, okay, I'm going to bite the bullet and buy this. So that's what I did. And I got to the death card and I thought, what in the name of Jesus made me buy this deck? And it put me right off. And it sat there, and it wasn't until I purchased the Mildred Payne Secret Pocket Oracle and worked with that and the Deviant Moon that I found, I love this deck, it reads so beautifully well. And then I bought a book on the art, so it was just beautiful. I bought the big book on the Deviant Moon, and it explained an awful lot. So yes, people, that's what I have decided. Both those decks, obviously now I've got more than one Deviant Moon deck now. They're in these pouches here, made by Anne Fort. All of them there, made by Anne Fort. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful pouches. Just to give you a little bit more, if you're not au fait with the Anarchy Tarot, I'll read the blurb on the back of the box and on the back of the book, and it'll give you a little insight. Every card tells a story, a powerful tool for divination. The Anarchy Tarot is also a tool for learning to trust yourself. Lush with details and vivid colours, the card reveals the true facets of life and evoke a deeper understanding of joy, hope, fear and uncertainty. Clearly expressing real emotions, the characters speak directly to the heart and to the mind of the reader. Created by Austrian artist Anna Kay, this deck stays true to the Rider-Waite tradition but eliminates many of the esoteric symbols. The gorgeously rendered scenes are designed to illuminate the motivations of the heart and unmask the fears that keep us from our destinies. In times of confusion, it will help you see. In times of conflict, it will help you get past your fear. If you are struggling with indecision, it will help you decide. Saturated with emotion and drama, the cards of the Anarchy Tarot tell their stories through the character, the expressions on their faces, and through the scenes in which they are placed. Eliminating the esoteric symbols of the traditional Rider-Waite deck, the cards are read intuitively with the emotion. While the tarot is a tool of divination, it is also a beautiful way to become clear about your deepest desires and fears. It can teach you to look into your own heart without prejudice until every part is accepted with compassion. So, there you go. That's the Anarchy Tarot. And what I like about it in the book, after each card, each section you get a little area where you can write any notes that you feel go with what you've just read about the card. So that is that, and now I'm going off to play around with my Anarchy. I hope you're all well. I hope life is treating you well, and grab a deck, spend some time with you, some you time, and enjoy it. Take care, everybody. I'll see you soon.